एवरीबॉडी, आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ मोस्ट रिसेंटली आस्क्ड कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस। एंड कुछ दिन पहले मुझे कुछ लोगों ने कमेंट सेक्शन में भी रिक्वेस्ट किया था कुछ क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स पोस्ट करने के लिए और वीडियो बनाने के लिए। वो सारे क्वेश्चंस भी उनसे इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे पूछे गए थे। उन सब क्वेश्चंस के बारे में भी मैं आज आपके साथ इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करूंगी। अब कुछ क्वेश्चंस के जो आंसर्स है वो सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, तो टू सेव योर टाइम एंड टू सेव माय टाइम सबके आंसर्स डिस्कस नहीं करूंगी, बट कुछ क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स मैं जरूर डिस्कस करूंगी जिसमें मुझे भी लगता है कि आपको कुछ गाइडेंस की जरूरत होगी। जैसे कि मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि सैम्पल आंसर्स डिस्कस करने का मेरा बस एक ही इंटेंशन होता है कि नॉट दैट यू कॉपी पेस्ट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, बट व्हेन यू लिसन टू अदर पीपल्स आंसर्स, व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड, that's when you understand how you can make your answers better and how you can add some extra points in your answers to make it sound more interesting and to make it sound more impressive. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। मेरा नाम है रचना and welcome to my channel. Okay, so the first question is, who is your favorite TV personality? So this is a self-explanatory question, but whenever you are answering any question like this, remember that सिर्फ उस person का नाम बोलना जरूरी नहीं है। अगर आप किसी भी टीवी पर्सनालिटी का नाम ले रहे हैं, आपसे पूछा जा रहा है, तो remember to elaborate on your answer. If I had to answer this question, I would say that my favorite TV personality is always and forever going to be Sushmita Sen, for a simple reason being that I believe that she is an epitome of women empowerment, from being a single mother to representing our nation and becoming Miss Universe, to being an entrepreneur, to being a successful actor. I think she has done it all and she's been there in every aspect of life and she has excelled. So for me, somebody who I would like to look up to is somebody who is very hardworking and somebody who's independent in every aspect of their life. So for me, it is always going to be Sushmita Sen. So whenever you're going to answer a question like this, remember that you should be able to reason out why. Next question is, from where did you get this dress? So they may ask you questions which are very random like this कि आपका ये जो अटायर है, फॉर्मल बिजनेस अटायर जो आज आप पहन कर आए हो, आपने कहाँ से खरीदा? Who helped you buying it? Did you go shopping before the interview? How was your experience? All these questions can be asked to you. Remember that they are checking your communication. They are also checking कि आप सिर्फ हर एक चीज रटा कर नहीं आए हो बोलने के लिए, ठीक है? तो ये सारे रैंडम क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे जा सकते हैं। वो आपको बोल भी सकते हैं कि डिड यू गो शॉपिंग रिसेंटली टू बाय और ऑल दीज क्लोथ्स फॉर द इंटरव्यू, और इज दिस there with you from before, you did not buy a new pair of clothes for the interview. They may ask you questions like this, okay? So be honest and give whatever answer you have to give. If you went out shopping and you bought this specifically for the interview, you can tell them that. If it is an old pair of clothes that you had from before which you saved, you can do that. Like for me, generally whenever I have attended any kind of interviews, I've generally worn pretty much the same old clothes that I've been wearing. And if there is any interviewer who has asked me, I've told them very honestly, because I'm a little superstitious that way. So whenever I'm attending any interview, mostly it is always in this formal shirt. So you can just be honest with whatever you wish to say, okay? Because remember, there is no right or wrong answer to anything. They are checking your confidence, they are checking your communication, they are checking how you can hold a conversation, and how you can keep the recruiter or any other person engaged with you in the conversation, okay? Next question is, how was your weekend? Remember again, like I told you, ये भी self explanatory है। जो भी चीजें आपने करी होगी weekend में, if you went out with your friends, with your family, if you were just home sitting and watching TV shows, say whatever you did. Remember, whatever you say should generally be the truth, because जब आप सच बोलते हो तब आप फ्लटर नहीं करोगे, आपके दिमाग में 100 चीजें नहीं आएंगी. Don't say answers that you think are going to impress the recruiter. The recruiter would like to listen to the truth. So whatever you did, whether you went out with your friends, whether you went out for a movie, whether you stayed at home and did nothing, tell them that you were watching TV, you were just chilling because it was weekend. You knew that you had a heavy week in in the upcoming days, so you were just taking enough rest so that your well rested before your week starts. It's okay. Whatever you've done, you can tell them that. Next question is, tell us something about grooming and why do you think it is important? So I think grooming is important because somewhere it reflects not just your personal image but also the brand image of the airline. First of all, you are the brand ambassador of any airline that you're recruited for. So you are carrying the brand image of the airline. Second, it also somewhere reflects positivity and professionalism. It kind of makes you look more professional, it makes you look more confident, and once you are confident, it kind of creates an atmosphere which is very positive for not just you but also for the passengers. So the passengers are able to reach out to you, they feel more adaptable towards you. So that should generally be the whole idea of grooming. So, and it fulfills it. That's why I think grooming is important. Okay, so the next question is, what according to you are the challenges the youth is facing today? So in my honest opinion, the youth of today is facing unemployment as one of the major challenges, and somewhere it is also because of huge population increase, and this unemployment is kind of demotivating people because there are 10,000 people for one particular job opening. They are applying for it, they are standing in queues, they are trying to give their best shot, and most of them are getting demotivated because the requirement of the manpower is quite lesser than the number of people applying for these positions. So somewhere I think one of the major challenges that the youth of today is facing is unemployment. Okay, next question is, what do you think are your strengths? So according to me, I think that I am a good team player. I have excellent communication skills, and somewhere I think I'm a very adaptable person. So I can adapt to situations, I can adapt to circumstances very, very easily. And I do have strong sense of empathy with people as well. So somewhere I think that these are really important strengths, and especially if you talk about aviation, I think these strengths are very, very important. Nonetheless, I also believe that I can work under pressure very, very well. So that is one of the strengths that I think does wonders for me, because whenever I'm under pressure is the time when I perform the best. And I think that's one of the best strengths that one can have if you want to be a part of the aviation industry. Next question is, sleep or work, what do you think is more important? I think both of them are equally important. If you do not sleep well, you're not going to work well. If you work well and do not sleep enough, your next pattern of work or your next schedule for work is going to get hampered. So I think both of them are equally important. Both of them have their own benefits. Both of them have their own importance. If you need to work well, you need to sleep well. If you sleep well is the only time when you will work properly or you will work efficiently. I believe that both of them are equally important. You can have similar answers to a question asked like this. Next question is, why do you think smile is important in an airline industry? In my personal opinion, smile is important. I think not just in the airline industry, anywhere around the world. Even if you are just having a decent conversation anywhere around the world, even from one human to another human, smile is the best thing that you can probably give for free. The other thing is that it creates a sense of positivity, it creates a positive atmosphere, it kind of creates this sense of approachability between passengers and you. So like, let's say for example, if you go to a store and you see that there are a lot of salespeople who are there, and there are like 2-3 people who are not even looking at you, but then there is one person probably who's just, the minute you've had an eye contact with that person, that person has smiled at you. So you feel that sense of approachability towards that person. The first person who you would like to talk to would be that person. If you would have had to know about a certain particular section in the clothing shop or in the mall or whatever, you will go to that particular person who smiled at you the first time. So according to me, that sense of approachability, that reassurance can be created only when one human smiles to another human, and the airline industry is no different, and that's why I think smile is important. Next question is, how will you spend your first salary? This is self-explanatory. I'm not going to answer this. Whatever, in whichever way you have always decided to spend your first salary, make sure you say it. Remember, whatever you say, there is no right or wrong answer to anything. ठीक है? You should answer जो आप actually सोचे हो, जो आपके thoughts है. They want to know how you communicate. They want to know what are your thoughts. They want to know how you are putting yourself outside in the world. ठीक है? How well you're able to put yourself out there in the world. So remember, जो भी आप जवाब दे रहे हो उस सेंस में सोच कर देना कि you are representing yourself at that time. How you're going to answer will completely reflect how you are as a person. Okay? Next question is, tell me an incident when you showed kindness. So if I had to answer this question, just take up any incident. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता that you've not shown kindness at any given point in time in your life. Any incident, whether it was at a bus stop, whether it was at a train station, whether it was in college, whether it was in school, any kindness, act of kindness that you have shown, say it. Like if I have to give you the most recent act of kindness probably that I believe is an act of kindness, I was walking by in the street one day, just recently, maybe a day or 2 days ago, and I saw small puppies on the road, and I think they were newborn puppies. So I thought that it was important that some kind of nutrition goes into them, and I could not see where their mother is. I saw her at a distance, and I thought that it is important that we kind of, feed even the mother at this time because she had recently delivered. So I got a bowl of milk and I gave it to them. I gave it to the pups also, and I got one for the mother as well. So I believe that this was an act of kindness that I did, and I felt very happy after doing this, and I felt that somewhere I contributed a very small thing. It is not even a recognizable thing, but I think somewhere it's a very small thing that I did for the society. This question is, what is the motivation in your life? So if I had to answer this question, and if I would have been in the interview that day, and there would be a lot of people obviously waiting outside, my answer to this question would be, my biggest motivation in life is that I have a chance to even attend this interview today. There are thousands and lakhs and I don't know how many people who are just dreaming to be here, who don't even get shortlisted up till here, who don't even have the means and opportunities to reach here. There are thousands of people who don't even know what an aircraft is today. Or probably they can just see it in the sky and be like, okay, this is an aircraft, this is a machine, and that's it. And this is something that keeps me motivating. This is something that, helps me think, and every time preps me up that no, today I have to achieve this, or today I have to do this, because there are a lot of people who don't have even access to a lot of things that I have today. So this thought that there are a lot of people who do not even have access and probably don't even know that these things exist in this world is my motivation. So if I had to answer this, I would probably say this. Next question is, who inspired to apply for this position? Whatever is your inspiration, whatever is your source of inspiration, mention it to the recruiter. This is a self-explanatory question, so I will skip it. Okay, so the next question is, what according to you is your biggest mistake? So whenever you're answering a question which is somewhere portraying some kind of negativity, remember that you have to show that you learned from it and you grew from it as well. Okay, so you have to focus on a situation where you learned something from that mistake and you are working towards getting better, or you're working towards not making that or avoiding that mistake again and again. Now, if I had to answer this question in today's time, probably I would say that during the pandemic or before the pandemic, I didn't know that health was such an important part of us. We should have really, not just me, I think a lot of people didn't think or didn't even think health to be as their priority. We didn't think that, eating right, exercising, taking adequate amount of rest was such an important part or should have been an important part of our lives. But after I got COVID, after I suffered from COVID, I understood how it is very important to take care of yourself, how it is very important to, stay healthy. It is important to eat the right food. And ever since I got cured, first of all, I'm very thankful that I was able to cure myself within a short span of time. And after that, I was able to recover very quickly. I was able to work on myself in a better way, and I became pretty much a healthier version of what I used to be before. And I'm continuing to work towards remaining healthy every day from that day on. So I think, according to me, one of my biggest mistakes was probably that I didn't give my health that much of priority before I got COVID. So you can have answers like this. Whatever mistake you did, remember, if you're mentioning a mistake, talk about a situation and also talk about how you are working towards it and how you've improved or you've tried not to, allowed that thing to happen again. So whenever you're answering like this, make sure that you have these kind of points in your answer. Next question is, when was the last time you helped someone? Now, this is very similar to the question of tell me an incident when you showed kindness. So this is going to be on similar lines. This is self-explanatory again. I'm not going to answer it. Whichever act you came across according to you was an act of kindness. Whenever you think that you helped somebody, even if it is a small thing but it is an act of help, you provided assistance to somebody, you can talk about that story. Okay, so this is very similar to that question. I'm not going to answer it, but you can give any kind of example like I gave in the previous answer. Next question is, compare between a simple marriage and a lavish marriage, and what would you prefer? Honestly speaking, I was always up for this, and I have always been up for a simple marriage, because in my personal opinion, I believe that happiness or celebration of something cannot be measured with the amount of money you are spending. You can be happy, you can celebrate a certain occasion in your life without spending lavishly also. So these two things cannot be measured in my understanding, and that's why I don't think that having a lavish marriage is going to bring you the most amount of happiness, and probably having a simple marriage will bring you less amount of happiness. Having said this, each to his own. If their idea of happiness and celebration is lavish marriage, they can, and if they can afford it, they might as well take up that. If their idea of happiness and celebration is a simple marriage, they can take up that. But in my opinion, if somebody asks me, I believe in having a simple marriage over a lavish marriage if I ever have to choose between the two. So you can have your opinion and you can tell them very honestly why you believe this. Next question is, what is customer service according to you? Customer service according to me is probably, meeting and exceeding the needs of the passenger, making his journey seamless, making his travel hassle-free, making him feel at home, making him feel at ease, bringing out a memorable experience from that travel of his or hers is customer service according to me. So according to me, anything that makes the customer happy, anything that makes his journey memorable, anything that makes him feel happy and makes him remember that this journey that he had with our airline is what is customer service for me. Okay, next question is, how do you think you are a quick learner? So probably you can emphasize on your adaptability to situations. You can say that I am somebody who's an adaptable person who adapts to situations quickly, and I understand that in that situation I need to act in a certain way. So thereby I feel that I can learn things quickly if a situation arises, and then I can act accordingly in it. And in the past also there have been situations where I've demonstrated skills like this. So you can give your examples that you believe that you are a quick learner because in the past a certain incident would have happened with you, and that's why you think that you have been a quick learner. Next question is, what did you observe while waiting outside? So basically I told you there are some questions that they ask you out of the box, that they ask you which are not asked regularly on purpose, so that they know that you've not mugged up questions and answers and you've come. You are you and you are showcasing your personality. So whatever you've observed outside, you saw a lot of people, you saw a lot of candidates, you saw a lot of people being nervous, preparing for the interview. You saw all these things that were happening outside, and how you were also feeling. You can mention about that as well. So whatever you saw, mention that. Next question is, talk about your school life. This is again a self-explanatory question. I will not go too much in deep, but you can talk about how your school memories were, whether you had friends, whether you didn't have friends, were you a naughty child, were you a studious child, whether you were a backbencher, whether you were a nerd, you always sat in the front, were you a teacher's pet, did you like studying, did were you fond of being a part of the sports team, and did you take part in cultural activities? So you can mention all these things about your school life, how your school life was memorable. Did you like the sports day events? Did you take part in those events? All these things will be a part of your answer, can be a part of your answer. So this is self-explanatory and I'm not going to go too much into it. And remember, they may ask you counter questions about, so did you have friends in school? Who was your best friend? Are you still in touch with her? Are you still in touch with him? Do you think that school friends are the most long-lasting friends that one can have? Or are they precious? ये सारे questions counter questions के तौर पे आ सकते हैं. So prepare accordingly, okay? Next question is, if you get an opportunity to travel, where would you like to go? This again is self-explanatory. जब भी आप जिस भी जगह के बारे में बात कर रहे होंगे, remember that you should be able to reason out why you would like to travel to that place. Because ये तो understood ही है ना, सिर्फ cool दिखने के लिए तो जवाब नहीं देना है. आपको जवाब इसलिए देना है because they are first of all checking your personality, they are checking your communication, they are checking how you present yourself in front of them. So when you are presenting yourself in front of them, where would you like to travel? If you say that you would like to travel to Delhi, why would you like to travel to Delhi? If you've never traveled to Delhi, you would say that it is the capital of India. I've never had a chance or never had an opportunity to travel to Delhi. I want to see the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I want to see the parliament. I want to see all these government bodies, these places that are there in Delhi. So whatever you say, remember to have reasons why you want to visit a certain place. ठीक है, तो आज के इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही. अगर आपने भी कोई भी कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यू में पार्ट लिया है रिसेंटली, तो प्लीज राइट द क्वेश्चंस टू मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. दिस विल हेल्प अ लॉट ऑफ अदर पीपल हु आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू. अगर आपको और कोई क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स भी चाहिए होंगे तो वो भी आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख सकते हैं. उनके भी आंसर्स मैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में बनाकर पोस्ट कर दूंगी. अगर आपको ये वीडियो इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा तो आप मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं, लाइक कर सकते हैं इस वीडियो को. फॉर मोर फ्यूचर कैबिन क्रू इंटरव्यूज एंड जॉब रिलेटेड कंटेंट के लिए स्टे ट्यून्ड. थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड गुड बाय.